It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
With the Diesel and the Jet, this is Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight we'll see the Miami Heat playing against the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, for New Orleans, they went 2-0 against this team last season, looking to continue that string of victories tonight. Almost ready for tip-off, but first a moment to talk about something that often gets overlooked, defense. Kenny, who are the most impressive defenders in the NBA right now?
Well, defense doesn't get overlooked by championship teams, and I'm going to name some guys who've either played on championship team or contenders. Kawhi Leonard, defender on the wing. Andre Iguodala, MVP of the NBA Finals, but defense was one of the reasons. And Paul George, coming back from injury. This guy was a pre-made.
Nothing goes together like the Heat and Miami as we get ready for an interconference contest here at the American Airlines Arena. It's the NBA, and it's live right here on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. Now, the opening lineup for the New Orleans Pelicans. Jennings out there with Gordon. Then it's Anthony Davis. Then there's Andre Drummond. And it's G in at the 3 spot. And it's Drummond missing. For New Orleans, their last game, a loss to the 76ers in Philadelphia.
You know what? A lot of three-pointers, but for me, more so, it was the shot selection on those three-pointers. I just felt like they were just too trigger-happy from downtown.
You know, Greg, sometimes you're able to shoot your way out of a slump, but they just kept making things worse. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy, coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the three, or just taking it to the rack himself.
Many of his transition opportunities start with his aggressive defense. Very active with his hands, has the instincts to jump passing lanes, the long arms, to pick off passes. Suddenly, when he gets a steal, he's off and running.
Now, here's Dragic. He's usually able to provide some lift to his team, averaging 6 points a game.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
And talking about Goran Dragic, the one thing he has to be careful with is being over-aggressive on deep. Reaching for steals makes you susceptible to blow-bys and escape dribbles, and that can lead to uncontested layups and dunks for your opponent.
Now, Dang. After Eric Gordon's three-pointer that didn't go.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
And that one falls coming off of Davis's feed.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
He'd have gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
A lot of his focus in preparing his team for this game centered around how they plan to deal with point guard Brandon Jennings. He said Jennings is a blur out there. He's so fast, and he plays with a relentless energy. It's a challenge for any team to really keep up with him. Kevin, we'll see if they can do it.
All right, Doris.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling. Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measured 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan, and he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Stoudemire's checked in for Whiteside. Winslow comes in for Luol Deng. And it's Green in for Dwayne Wade. Now here's Jennings. After the miss from Goran Dragic, they get it again. And Davis puts it in. Davis has got his first 2 points.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
The wide open look here for Bosch. They get the rebound. That one's a miss. His 3rd shot of the game. He's made one of them. Stolen by Winslow. Bosch kicks to Green. Unloads from 13. There's the bucket. Good. Bosh has got his second bucket tonight.
And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
Jennings passes to Davis. Outside Jennings. Middleton against Green. And Middleton kicks to Drummond. With 1 on the clock. And misses it off the right side. And now a chance to hear from Chris Bosh about what it meant to him to become an NBA player.
I was obsessed with the NBA as a kid.
What a great cut from Chris Bosh. That's the kind of guy you can't help, Greg, but love for his attitude and ability to be, in touch with that kid he once was. I know you played the same way. Chris Bosh is living the dream like you did and loving it.
That's a great point, Kevin. And I think most of the guys in the league feel that same way. I mean, they may not be able to say it or articulate it as smoothly as Chris does,
sure.
but inside every NBA player is a kid who's still thrilled to wear the uniform and play the game they love.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And when you consider how the Heat are doing, guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
Not much room to operate offensively. The defense has been stifling through the first.
Greg, they haven't given up a lot of easy chances at all.
A chance here to get a quick injury report. Now let's send it over to Doris Burke for an update on Hassan Whiteside. Doris?
Guys, I got an update from head athletic trainer of the Heat. He told me that it doesn't look too serious. If he misses a large number of games, you have to think it will have an effect on their chances of winning an NBA title this season. A tough break if that's how it turns out, guys.
All right, Doris. We will, of course, keep everyone updated as we find out more.
And you know what? He could have a long road ahead in terms of getting back on the court. But one thing we all know, he's never been shy of hard work.
No, he's not. I mean, he'll be doing everything possible.
Setting the floor now for the Pelicans. Chris Middleton is out there with Omer Asik. Then there's Gordon. Then there's Jennings. And it's Perkins in at the 5.
And it was a very public falling out between Goran Dragic and the Suns front office. That was a real tense few weeks there before ultimately he was traded.
This is to Gordon. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. And finished off by Perkins.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
And, of course, Dragic was traded to Miami last season. Said he felt betrayed by the Suns front office, which spurred him wanting out of Phoenix and to South Florida.
Yeah, you know what? We'll never know the whole truth about that situation, but Dragic said they told him one thing with personnel and did something else.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. Whiteside's checked in for Stoudemire. Wash comes in for Luol Deng. Young is subbed in for Gerald Green. Shots good from Young.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Here's Baines, and he converts the layup. Baines has got his first bucket of the night.
Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Good point, Clark. They're starting to make some shots, looking to try and get back in this.
Wade outside. Back to Dragic. 6 on the shot clock. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Dragic has got 4 points this quarter.
Boy, what a significant turnaround here in the second quarter after only making 40% from the field in the first.
Here's Davis, and it's New Orleans scoring again.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Now, here's Wade. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. The floater, and the release was before the buzzer, and the first half.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Halftime. It was a closely contested first quarter for Miami. The biggest lead for them during the period was 6. And that's going to do it for now as the second half is just about to get started. Now back to Kevin.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. You have to like what we're seeing from Goran Dragic.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court for the Heat, Dang and Bosh, your small and power forwards. Dragic is joined in the backcourt by Wade, and it's Whiteside in at the center, locking down the middle. And he recovers it. Bosh with the bucket. Looking at Miami, they took their win in their last game against the Atlanta Hawks.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way, and that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
Wade dishes to Dang. Back to Wade. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That is his first foul of the game. Now let's bring up the 2K leaderboard. Here are the top rebounders over the last month. Fifth on the list, Anthony Davis.
Well, he's got great energy, Kevin, when he goes after the ball, and that's got to be contagious to the rest of the team, I would think. I mean, that kind of production on the glass is great at both ends of the court.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans. This game against Miami here, their first look at the Heat.
Yeah, and they swept this matchup the two times they played last year. They held the advantage on paper and on the court.
Yeah, exactly. An interconference matchup here. Not a lot of familiarity, but I wouldn't say they caught them off guard. There's a reason one team was in the playoffs and the other team was watching.
Dragic the pass to Green. He kicks to Dang. Plays it up and banks it in. Now it's a 5-point Heat lead.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And for Gerald Green, another productive year last season coming off the bench. Though it was a smaller role, a small step back from the season before when he started over half the games for the Suns.
Well, there was a log jam in Phoenix at the wing position last season. He certainly matured, though, as he never complained about not starting, just went out and did his job.
Stoudemire, right side, 5 on the clock. Now the pass to Winslow. Beyond the arc. And Green with the basket on the assist by Winslow. Green's got the lead up to 6 now for the Heat.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Middleton for 3. Can't get it to go. And
for Gerald Green, it's hard to not think about the star that could have been. The 18th pick in the 2005 draft, right out of high school. It was basically athleticism and upside in his game then. He's finally made it in the NBA now, but has improved with skills and guile in place of explosiveness.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
Pelicans shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. And the Heat with some changes. Whiteside's checked in for Stoudemire. Wash comes in for Luol Deng. And Nick Young is subbed in for Goran Dragic. Omer Asik, he's checked in for the Pelicans. Morris comes in for Brandon Jennings. Now here's Green, guarded closely. Here's Winslow. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. The Heat have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
Only shooting 71 really on the season, so there is plenty of room for improvement.
And guys, that allows their opponents to play very aggressive defense if they choose to, knowing it's not a bad thing to send them to the foul line.
Gordon for 3. No good there. And we've reached the end of the... Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The 4th quarter of play should begin momentarily. So it's the Pelicans now. They trail by 9 points. On the court for the Pelicans, getting the 4th quarter going. The shot blocking pair of Davis and Asik inside. Chris Middleton is out there with Gordon. And it's Morris in at the 3 slot. And Middleton kicks to Gordon. Shot clock at 6. Puts up the baby hook. Asik with the bucket. Asik's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Pelicans.
Timeout call.
Now a timeout called by Miami. And with the fourth quarter push coming up here, the coach going over the game plan and these players rehydrating themselves with Gatorade, recharging their bodies, refocusing their minds, and getting that strategy down to close out the game. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. His advice clear-cut. I want to see you playing to win, not playing not to lose. I don't care what the lead is. We do not back off.
Thanks, Doris. Wade kicks to Dang. That falls. Nice speed that time from Dwayne Wade. And it's 6 points for Luol Deng. Pelicans trail by 7. Inside. And that one's good. Drummond.
And the deeper we get into this game, it seems like the more the offenses are in rhythm.
Without question. I mean, both of these teams are firing on full broadband bandwidth. I mean, full throttle ahead.
Dang gets a wide open look. And again, Miami with the triple.
The shot quality is very good here, and they're making most of them this half.
Yeah, converting at a really high level. The field goal percentage continues to creep upward.
Jennings against Dragic. Bosh, the screen. Wade outside. 6 to shoot. He dishes it to Bosh. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
And Davis can't get it to go. The Heat leading by 8. To the middle. It's stolen by Davis. Jennings drives in. Middleton. And it's Dragic with the rebound.
All the defender had to do there was just stay close to him, and he did.
There's the dish to Bosh. Looking to get back on track here. And Davis sends it back. Clock at 6. Here's Dragic. And again, it's the Heat missing.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take. Yeah, just nice strength there, and then just off with the shot.
Boy, with all the contact he drew there, Greg, that would have been a heck of a bucket. He nearly got it to go.
He's off on the free throw, unable to get that second one to drop in. And Miami can just let the clock run down here. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Chris Middleton. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul. Substitution on the court.
Here's Chalmers.
Pelicans foul call. Kendrick Perkins. That's his first personal foul. Mario Chalmers. 2.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. And he does get the second one. And that stretches their lead to 8. Now a timeout called by New Orleans. They're behind by 8. 7 seconds left in the game. 7 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
A really good rebound in traffic. That's what the big fella's there for.
And so it's Miami winning this one.
Siamo fragili, se tutti ci toccano, siamo fatti di sogni che non ci fanno dormire.
Io non dormo quando ti penso, io non dormo e basta.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll be watching the Houston Rockets playing against the New Kings Center. New Orleans comes into this one following a loss to the Heat at American Airlines Arena. They split the season series against these guys last season, 2 games apiece. Should be a good one tonight. And as we come up to the midway point of the season, Kenny, we're seeing some of the veterans who started slower now picking up the pace.
Well, I think early on, a lot of times,
on the road looking for a win against a Western Conference rival. The Houston Rockets are getting ready for this thing to get started. Coming in off the road, the Pelicans are back in New Orleans for this one. And, of course, Patrick Beverley. Team moving on here without him.
Well, to say the deal changes the look and feel of this franchise is stating the obvious. I mean, they are a vastly different team than they were a few days ago. Obviously looking long-term rather than the short-term.
Exactly. I mean, trading away a player with his talent is clearly a big picture deal. I mean, you have to balance fit and talent. Wow, look at how quick he flashes to the rim there for the finish.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. When you think of James Harden, you don't think much about his athleticism. His strength, though, is exceptional for his position.
Yeah, I think that's his greatest attribute. His ball handling's good, but it's his strength. He's able to run through contact.
And Harden able to get wherever he wants on the court. I mean, he can muscle you, but he's also got that Euro step and all those moves that just leave you in a dizzy. Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Jennings passes to G, to the middle. Davis kicks to Asik. 8 feet away. It's rebounded by Houston.
You know, and Harden, you think about how elusive he is, but at the same time, he's a guy that seeks contact. I mean, he'll entice a defender to try and reach in, and a master salesman when it comes to getting those refs to blow the whistle.
He feeds it to Howard. Here's Ariza, just 5 to shoot. Nailed from three-point land.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Stolen by Harden. Releases. And too long on the shot.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just a terrible shot.
And Lawson with the drive. Kicks it out to Ariza. No good. Now New Orleans will take it the other way. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of Miami.
Just looking at the stat sheet, they gave far too many free throws away in that game. Maybe it was the noise in the building or something, but they really looked rattled.
Well, Greg, I don't know if it was the biggest reason for that loss, but all of those misses from the stripe clearly had an impact on that game. Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one, short-stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
Davis. That doesn't go either for Davis.
Boy, they were ready for him right there. I mean, totally collapsed the defense on him.
Harden against Gordon. And there's the 3-second call, this one on the defense. The Rockets shooting their first free throw of the night. And he shows the focus there, nails the technical. .11 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Harden outside. Pass to Cannon from downtown. The shot is off.
Come on, New Orleans.
And Certainly an intriguing matchup tonight. Let's hear from Trevor Ariza on his team. Ariza might as well be describing his own game, Clark. Scrappy, ready to play, ready for anything, ready to claw to get that win.
Well, you know, he does have that kind of all-around, all-out game going back to his days at UCLA. I mean, when you combine that with his talent, he's a guy who, no matter where he's been, his teammates rave about him and respect him.
And off we go, a close game now starting the second quarter. And looking at what we've seen from Houston, what do you guys think?
They've been a well-oiled machine offensively thus far.
They've kept the ball moving, Greg, and their opponents chasing after it. That's how they've piled up all the points.
They've got Perkins. Andre Drummond is out there with Marcus Morris. Then there's Jennings, and it's Middleton in at the 2 spot. So that's the group out there for New Orleans.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
There's the dish to Drummond. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Landry gets the bucket.
And he should thank the team for those 2 points. Nobody paid much attention to him on that play.
The Pelicans trail. Kicks it to Perkins. The jump hook. The rebound by Harden. For Houston, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. And Cannon gets it to go.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Guys, I'm not sure there's a better star player who's a better fit for his team's philosophy than James Harden. He reflects the Rocket system perfectly.
I don't think you're wrong on that, Kevin. I mean, the Rockets, an analytically minded team. They love layups, free throws, and threes. Harden can get all of those done.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Perkins. Ashik comes in for Andre Drummond. And Eric Gordon subbed in for Morris. Houston leading by 4. Here's Ariza. And he misses the fast break layup.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off. And Harden, either intentionally or not, is really the poster child for a new era of analytics that's starting to drive basketball. I mean, he generates a lot of points, but most importantly, he does it with tremendous efficiency, in part because he lives at the free throw line.
Pass to Middleton. Here's Baines. He's guarded by Howard. He's whistled for the 5-second back to the basket violation.
Statistically speaking, let's see where the Rockets sit right now. 6th in fewest turnovers per game. 14th in scoring. And they're ranked in the top half of the NBA in points off turnovers. I mean, they're not a stellar defensive team, but they do a pretty good job of turning turnovers into points.
And call me crazy, but I really believe turnovers are one of those game-changing stats. Their ability to avoid those miscues and make the right play consistently has been tremendously important.
The Rockets have shot just 1 free throw earlier, 1 for 1 in the game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor, something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And Kevin, it's something they've been working very hard to correct and to change. I mean, they know how important it is to fix that inability at the free throw line.
And, you know, for the Rockets, acquiring James Harden might be the trade of the decade. You look at what they gave up, and it's hard to argue that they didn't win that transaction in a big way.
Here's Gordon. Can't get it to go. Excellent D from Howard. Lawson outside. Dishes it to Moniunas from 13. And no good as it rattles out. And so that brings the
2K Sports Halftime Show.
This is Ernie Johnson. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. The biggest lead of the quarter was only 3 points as they traded baskets back and forth. And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan.
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
Just a quality performance, and you know, we do expect to see that from him, and he's always setting the bar high for himself, and sometimes I think we just kind of get numb to how good this guy really is.
And Greg, you know how it was as the marked man when you were playing on great teams in your past. It's hard to perform when everybody's locked in on you. To be able to play like he has when you have a reputation of being the guy, that's impressive.
Getting underway in the second half. Here's the 5 for Kevin McHale. Modiunas and Howard the post pair. Harden and Ariza filling out the perimeter. And it's Lawson in at the point. 6 on the shot clock. And Davis sends it back. And as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball here. Just 3 to shoot. The shot's good from Lawson.
An excellent display of passing out there, fellas. I mean, 8 of their last 10 points have been assisted on.
And they just keep finding the open man.
Well, one thing about Ty Lawson is he's very good at attacking the defense. Gets inside without a problem and knows how to set up teammates.
Houston leading by 5. And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
There's the bucket. Good. Here's Jennings. There's 1:38 left to play in the third. The pass to Drummond. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
I think they've really got to start committing more bodies down low and really kind of close that area off defensively.
Here's Cannon. Tries from 10. It's rebounded by New Orleans. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season. And it's Davis missing.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over.
Chris Middleton's checked in for Brandon Jennings. And the Rockets making a change here as well. Brewer is checked in for Trevor Ariza. Harden outside. And for Carl Landry, he powered his way through the league a few years back, but somewhere along the line, Clark, his game kind of topped out.
His best season, Kevin, he averaged 18 and 7. I think injuries have been a factor, but last year was down to 7 and 4 his game averages, so he's starting to slide.
And both free throws good for James Harden.
And back to Carl Landry, sophisticated scorer. A variety of post moves, a tough guy willing to play through pain, but he just never had the size or explosiveness to dominate. And now that he's getting a little older, that really has become an issue.
You know, visiting Carl Landry again here, I mean, he's a role guy. He shoots a high percentage from the field, from the foul line, gives you a little nasty and edge down low, yet you can't make him out to be more than he is.
And how about Anthony Davis? Grew 7 inches in one summer back in high school. You know, people forget he was committed to go to Cleveland State to play point guard out of high school. But then because of that growth, ends up signing at Kentucky, and the rest is history. So, I mean, you look at that 215-pound frame his rookie season, now up over 240, and that's enabled him to dominate the game even more. And I think it'll also help him improve his health. And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
It's Harden with the drive. Again, the miss by Harden. For 3, Middleton. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. The Rockets. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. Pelicans trail by 4. The shot blocking pair of Davis and Asik inside. Jennings out there with Chris Middleton, and it's G in at the 3 spot. So that's the group out there for New Orleans.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too. Some of the shots he's taken have been real head scratchers. I mean, come on. He's out there playing like it's a game of horse at the park.
Shots good by Middleton.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
There's got to be a wall of defense when it comes to attacking the paint. Plain and simple.
Stolen by Asik. Fast break. Here they come. Here's G, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
Did not seem happy about how things are going on right now, and he maybe wants to make some changes.
I agree. I mean, just was not comfortable with the way things were set up at that particular time. And in that case, I think it's the right thing to do.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Alvin Gentry had some words for his team over that last break. He told them, this is it, fellas. Let's hit them right out of this timeout. Put some pressure on them. Show them how much you want it. Let's go get it. Guys, he's really exhorting them to give them a burst of energy.
And thanks for that story, Doris. The Rockets shooting about 42% so far. Harden dishes to Howard. It's stolen by Davis. On the wing, Davis. And he makes good on the layup. Davis has got the lead up to 2 now for New Orleans.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
Here's Lawson. Inside, Howard. No good off the pick.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And Middleton kicks to Davis. Rocket 6. And he gets it to go. Now it's a 4-point Pelican lead.
And some kind of switch must have been flipped at halftime because both teams are getting after it.
Man, I tell you, partner, this has been some fun basketball, and they don't look like they're slowing down at all. You better strap your seatbelt on here.
Watson the pass to Moniunas. Ariza kicks to Harden. Can't get it to go. Now New Orleans will take it the other way. And it's Davis at the elbow. And good. That thing was that time was phones.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
Harden gets to Moniunas. Connects. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
That was some slick passing from Harden on that one.
Guys, they're not going to be in any rush on this possession.
Not with the lead. I mean, now's the time to use the clock to your advantage. Take your time. Milk the clock a little bit.
And here's Jennings. New Orleans moving the ball around. Let's go. They grab their own miss. Asik off on the way up. Now a timeout called by Houston. They're down by 3. There's 14 seconds left to play here in the 4th. What do you think, guys?
And there's still time left, so they don't necessarily have to go for the 3. A quick, easy bucket inside will do.
Well, I think the clock's a little short here for that. I mean, I'm not quite sold on the quick 2. I think they've got to look for a quality 3 to try to tie this thing up based on where the clock is right now. That's a tough connection to make right there. I mean, that's asking an awful lot of the receiver to make that catch.
And so here is New Orleans. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the...
I like that. I mean, clock management crucial at this time of the game.
And so both free throws are good. And it's a three-point game.
That last free throw was critical. Their only choice now is to go for the three to tie.
So it's a narrow victory for the Pelicans, pulling it out for the W. That was
the 2K Sports post-game show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to... And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game.